YouTube is love, a lie. Cool. New lyrics. Hey guys, so you built your NLP model and you want to showcase it to your friends but don't really know how to deploy it. Not an issue, I'm gonna show you how in a couple of easy steps. So this is our end product that we are trying to make a deployed application that can take our inputs and generate the outputs that you want. I based this on the lyrics generator that I talked about in my previous video about how to train your deep learning lyrics generator. And yeah, it's a simple front-end app with a header, some explainer text and an input box to input your lyrics. So we can start with what is love and see what it generates. And while the monkeys are typing, I can explain a bit what is in the works here. So after pressing that button, we make an API call to our API which actually generates the text itself. And then the front-end app just serves the text in the screen and we can read the lyrics. The API itself is just a simple API in which we use a function to generate the text with the weights of our model. And the front-end app, well, you saw that. It's just a header, an input box, and a button. So yeah, the lyrics are generated, everything works, and let's get into how to make this and start with a small time lapse for the API. So as you can see, the API is finished and is working now. As I told you before, the API is quite simple. We just have like a web page in which we input the text variable in the call and then we get the full lyrics of the song generated. So we can just test that with, I don't know, YouTube is love. And while we wait for it, I can just showcase you the code for the API. So yeah, the whole API is here. I can open this and open that as well. So as I said, the API is pretty simple, uses a Flask server, and then just we define the subdirectory of generator where we actually generate the text, and we are looking for the text variable and then sending that to generate text function from the model load script. So as for the model load, it's basically the same script as run generation from Hugging Face. It's just slimmed down to use GPT-2 tokenizer and model, which we are using here. And yeah, just work a bit with text to give us that nice paragraph sense of lyrics. And that's pretty much it with API. As always, you can check the code in GitHub and just copy mine and use it or manipulate it a bit to your own needs. So heading back to the API, yeah, it's generated the text. So YouTube is love, love is never ending, you are the one and only for me, be my hunter, be with me, be the hunter, be with me.
Sounds pretty cool.
So yeah, if you want to do this at home, don't forget to check out my last video about how to train one of these models for your own. So yeah, the API is done and now we can switch to the app itself. So at this point the app is done and as you can see, well, it's the same that we looked into at the start of the video. So yeah, just a simple header, some explainer text and then an input box for your starting lyrics. We can try now have problems with lyrics, push the button and wait for the monkeys to do the work. As for the code itself, it's pretty simple actually. You can just put it to the screen here just to compare it. The app consists of mainly two parts. So the layout, which is here, and the callbacks, which are here. So this app is a Dash application. I have a tutorial video for that as well if you never built one, but it's just a simple way to build a front-end application which I use, and I suggest for you to try it out as well. So for the layout itself, there's a header, as you saw in there, some text, explainer text, and then just an input box and a button. And this thing that pops out with the lyrics and the monkey GIF is a modal. You can see it here, and it's controlled by a callback at the bottom. So here's the callback for the modal. If you press a button, the Lego button, the modal pops up. If you press the second button, which is closed, the modal closes down, like so. And then when we press the button, this button, the first callback is also initiated, which is the one that gives a call to the API that I showcased before, and it just generates the lyrics and gives out those lyrics in that box. So yeah, that's basically it. These are all the scripts that I use for it, nothing actually much else. And for the part how to use it, I'm gonna go through it now and just show you how easy it is to set it up actually. So what do you actually need to do to make this application work? Well, firstly, you need to get the modal weights and the whole model itself, which hopefully you have, and if you don't, then just go to my other tutorial how to build a deep learning model to make you some lyrics. And then after building that model, you will have an output directory that you can see here. And in there, you're gonna see these files which you need for your model. So just copy those, go to the directory where you pulled the GitHub repository, go to the API, and again to the API, and then you will see an output 10k directory. You just need to paste all of this. I'm just gonna skip for now because I don't need that, but yeah, you're gonna paste your model, weights, and other files associated with it in here, and this is how you will know that the model uses your model and not just any model. If you don't have any model and you don't want to do the tutorial, I'm adding a Google Drive link to my output, well, my weights, and you can use those, but yeah, those are specifically for Modern Talking, and if you want some other artist, then those won't go. So after pasting your weights, what you're gonna do is go back to the API directory, and you can see here is a Docker file. I hope you know what Docker is, and if not, then well, Docker is a system of containers that you use. They're like mini OS systems that you use for apps which have all the required packages that you need to run an application. If you want to know a bit more, I'm gonna leave a link down below on how to install it and use it, well, specifically here as well. So from this directory, you need to build the Docker image. To do that, firstly you need to run the Docker daemon. And after that's running, you need to build the image. So you just change directories to the one that the API is. So So I'm in the directory, just checking if, yeah, the Docker file is there. So I need to build the image. I'll have the instructions as README in GitHub. So you don't need to type everything, I just can copy paste as I'm doing here it myself. So you build the image. It shouldn't take long because I already have the image. It's just updated if there's anything to update, but it shouldn't be there. Yeah. So it will update the image, and after that you just need to run the Docker image in a container and your API will be up and running. So the image is built and we can run the API. You can see in the command that I assigned the port 80 to port 80. That's just so the API could be read. So let's run it. Yeah, it's running, and we can go check it again if it's running. Time lapse again. Come on. Don't make me look bad. Yeah. YouTube is love, a lie. Cool. New lyrics. So yeah, the API is running, so we can now just switch to what we need to do for that. So we have the API running, and all we need to do now is run the actual app. So we switch to the app directory. I know there's a bunch of screens, but just be with me. So there's a couple of files here, but the main file you're looking at is app.p, and the second one is the requirement. So you can install the requirements either using pip or using a pip environment or conda environment. It's pretty much up to you. If you want just to look at those, we can open this. So these are the requirements for the app to run, and when you install these, but as I said, either pip environment or any other environment or just pip itself, you can actually run the app, and for that all you need to do is just type python app.p. And here you'll see a link. You can open that, and there's the app, and it should work. And again, I hope it won't make me look bad. So for the lyrics, cool. So after the CyberMonkeys will do the typing, we should have a fully generated lyrics for the song, the lyrics, and that's gonna be it. And this is how it is easy to deploy an application for your deep learning model. Oh, with horrors and stuff. The lyrics: ice on fire, the most dangerous than fiction. Everybody's falling in love, baby, you and me need love. Oh, totally what I'm talking. Cool. So we deployed the app. All we need to do now is deploy it to some cloud service for it to be online. And for that, I'm gonna do an additional video because this one's getting pretty lengthy. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today, and it for deploying your own neural model online with natural language processing and some Dash application and API. So thanks for watching. As always, it was a pleasure to share some work with you guys. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you like the content overall, don't forget to subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye.